If you're a fan of Cobra Kai and can't wait to hear about what the creators of the critically acclaimed television show are working on next, you're in luck. Their highly anticipated new comedy series, Obliterated, has rounded out its main cast members and is now filming. In this video, we'll be discussing everything you need to know about this upcoming new series and a lot more. Firstly, let's meet the cast. Along with the announcement that the series has now begun filming, Netflix unveiled the regular cast members for the hour-long intense action comedy, and it's a nice mix of both new and old faces. Starting off, we've got Terrence Terrell, who you might remember from Be Positive, as well as Alyson Gorske, who played Kelsey on the 2021 sitcom Head of the Class. Next, we've got C. Thomas Howell, who's known for his role on Southland, as well as Eugene Kim, who had a small role in everyone's favorite Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Rounding out the cast, we have Paola Lazaro, who previously starred in The Walking Dead, and Amelia Yu from the Grand Army. Well, there's no really big A-list celebrities in the cast, as is often the case with a lot of these Netflix shows. If the series does well, it might just be a jumping pad towards success for a lot of these actors. Hey, if the Stranger Things cast went from being a bunch of dorky little kids to some of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood right now, there's hope for everyone. Next up, what's Obliterated going to be about? Just the name of the series gives off major vibes of high-stakes action, and so far, it seems that exactly what the show's described as. Obliterated is said to be a high-octane series about a team of elite special forces who have to stop a deadly threat in Las Vegas, and they succeed. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic, wasn't it? Or so we thought. It turns out that the threat they stopped the first time around was actually fake, and the real bomb is still out there and needs to be taken care of. There's just one slight problem. The entire team's completely filled from top to bottom on drugs and alcohol after a celebratory night of partying when they took care of the fake bomb. The now completely drunk out of their mind team needs to somehow get through not just their physical limitations, but also emotional and personal issues if they want to find the real bomb and stop it before it does some real damage. Plot definitely seems like it's much different from Cobra Kai, but hey, action and comedy seems to be the forte for the creators of the show. So despite the seemingly out there plotline, we can't help but be excited for Obliterated. Moving on, now that the show has begun filming, when can we expect a release date? If you can't wait to catch a glimpse of Obliterated, well, hold your horses. With its filming just beginning now, it's likely that we won't get a premiere until 2023 at the earliest. Generally, filming and production can take up to a couple of months, and with its current schedule, it could go on until late November or early December of 2022. But all this is considering the series manages to have a steady production cycle, which, just going off by a shaky history, seems unlikely. Though the series is set to premiere on Netflix, that's not how it originally began. Obliterated was originally set to be a straight-to-order series on TBS, but after Cobra Kai got moved to Netflix, becoming an instant classic for many, Obliterated found a new home at Netflix as well in May of 2022. During this time, TBS and TNT also canceled all scripted productions, which explains why the show was moved over to Netflix. Finally, what was Obliterated like at TBS? In an interview, TBS explained how in the original concept for the series, it was pitched as a high-stakes drama. Brett Weitz, who works as the general manager for TBS and TNT, stated that he tried to get his hands on Cobra Kai, but the deal fell through. But he's definitely been a fan of the guys behind it, and so wanted to work with them on Obliterated. With all the high-octane action, as well as the intense drama and absurdity, the series seemed like a great fit for TBS, but ultimately, their plans ended up changing. And now that it's on Netflix, things might be different. The biggest change, of course, is changing from a 10-episode season to just 8 episodes, but who knows what else got switched up behind the scenes. Though with all the excitement around this project, we're definitely going to keep our eyes on it. And with that, let's head on over to the next segment, other news. Firstly, David Harbour thought Stranger Things would get canceled by Netflix after season 1. Stranger Things is just about the biggest show on TV right now. The Netflix smash hit might have been an instant classic for some, but others, namely the show's very own David Harbour, had very little hope for it early on. The Emmy nominee recently told Insider that he was beginning to lose hope for the show's success in the middle of filming season 1. Harbour states that by the time they wrapped filming, he was sure they wouldn't get a second season. He adds that they'd be the first Netflix show to never get a second season, which in hindsight seems oddly hilarious considering just how quickly Netflix cuts down shows nowadays. And this one's for you, Cowboy Bebop. Luckily, as it turned out, much of David's worries got put to rest when the series got nearly unanimous praise from the releases of the first season. And now, with its fourth one managing to break records this summer, there's absolutely no denying that Stranger Things is Netflix's biggest TV season this year. Though the show is coming to a conclusion with its fifth and final season, Netflix surely will keep the franchise going for years to come. And we can't help but wonder, knowing all that we know now, what would Harbour's reaction be all those years ago if we told him just how massive the show would eventually become? He'd probably be all upside down. Next, Netflix sues alleged Bridgerton knockoff on TikTok. What do you get when you combine a knockoff Bridgerton musical stage production with TikTok? Well, you get Netflix knocking on your doors and bringing you to court, of course. Netflix is apparently suing a knockoff of Bridgerton, the popular period drama. The knockoff is a musical stage production that became really popular through TikTok. The complainant accuses Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear of copyright infringement. Comes just 3 days after a sold-out performance of the unofficial Bridgerton musician in Washington, D.C.'s Kennedy Center. A lawyer of the defendants had no immediate comment and is yet to review the complaint. And let's be real, if we got sued by Netflix, we'd be speechless too. And the stage musical really began taking off on TikTok, where they've managed to acquire over 2.4 million followers, featuring songs based on the characters, dialogues, and plot points of the show. There's no denying that this is indeed a knockoff. And Netflix claims that they've tried to get the defendants to stop repeatedly, but they've continued to go through with the musical production, and it seems suing them for copyright infringement was the last course of action left. While there's another performance set to occur in September, the suit plans on not only stopping this, but also seeking an unspecified amount of damages. Yikes, we surely don't want to get on Netflix's bad side. Finally, Keep Breathing joins Resident Evil as yet another horribly rotten Netflix series debut. Netflix needs to add some space between the release of all these poorly rated shows because, frankly, we can't keep up. With the live-action adaptation of the Resident Evil just now being one of the lowest rated shows of the year on Rotten Tomatoes, we've already got Keep Breathing to give it company down there. The limited series is sitting at a comfortable 38% critic rating after 13 reviews, and doesn't seem to be doing too well for itself. And the hilariously bad ratings on both these shows definitely has people talking about the quality control at Netflix. It seems like they're just throwing stuff at a board and seeing what sticks, except the board is about 50 meters away and the person throwing is blindfolded. And while usually there's at least the excuse that critics are being overly harsh and the audience love it, but this time both parties seem to be in agreement. Keep Breathing's just straight up bad. The biggest mistake for the show is maybe that it's pitched as a limited series from the get-go, and with just 6 episodes, most of which have a mere 30 minutes of runtime, you've got a series that can barely get its foot off the ground before it's out of breath. Combining all the episodes, you get about as much footage to make a really long movie. Maybe with a bit more tidying up of the scenes, they should have really just gone that route. Either way, who cares? Netflix definitely doesn't care. And that's a wrap for this video. Are you excited to watch Obliterated when it comes out? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.